evening, everybody. Today is a really special evening. One, we have Miki Agrawal here. And two, this is the official launch for the Fulfillionaire podcast. This kind of feels like a full circle moment because it's a culmination of everything that JP's been working on through Thrive and his personal life. Building conscious wealth with high intent, high integrity, and high purpose. Fulfillionaire is not just a podcast. We hope for it to become an aspirational, inspirational movement where people can really live all dimensions of their life fully and with presence. We are so excited to launch with Miki, who truly embodies the Fulfillionaire spirit. I watched a couple of podcasts of Miki over the past couple of days, and there was one on Mind Rally where Miki said, how do we design our life so we can be present for every bit of it? That captures the heart of Fulfillionaire, living fully, creatively, and consciously in every dimension. Miki is a 9-figure entrepreneur who knows how to start a movement, someone who takes bold ideas, turns them into cultural revolutions, and knows how to make purpose profitable. JP has told me how much he admires her creative process and her ability to magnetize ideas. She transforms personal inspiration into global impact. Beyond business, Miki is the embodiment of a Fulfillionaire, someone who builds with purpose, leads with heart, and turns creativity into contribution. Miki, we are so honored to have you here tonight.
Well, everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Fulfillionaire, and it's really exciting. This is birth. This is birth. After 85 episodes of Investing on Purpose and 3 seasons that was divinely guided by a lot of you here, my inspirations to do it, it became this natural evolution to Fulfillionaire. And what happened was, the more I started speaking about these things, the more I noticed that a lot of people are really stuck in a hard place with money. I never really realized until I went on this journey that people's hearts being broken and their pocketbooks being scarce are the 2 things that can disable you more than anything. And I've just watched so many people from my investors worth 1 million, 10 million, 50 million still feel scarce and unclear around money. Nairi's nodding because he knows he deals with investors. How many wealthy people, it doesn't matter, still feel scarce? I call it the net worth trap. On one side, like you're trying to make money your whole life and then you finally make money and now you're in the net worth trap. I got to defend the money. And you never leave the energy of defense. And so when I heard so many people's stories, and really with the support of so many of my friends here, we came up with a framework called 4-dimensional wealth. And this all actually came from the podcast, just listening, helping, mentoring, and then ultimately, and we're going to talk about 4-dimensional wealth and what that all means. But I realized that most financial planners and most of us are being taught financial literacy in the 1 dimensions of wealth. What's 1 dimension? Your stockbroker says, here's a diversified portfolio. Have money when you're 70, so when you die, you'll have something to live with. It's all rooted in scarcity. And as if one size fits all, like we're gonna have one retirement plan that's really gonna work for you. Are you serious? And none of it to me is rooted in the things that I call the why that makes you cry. Why does money even matter? Why are we chasing money if we're not finding the feeling behind the money? None of us really want money, guys. We want the feeling of purpose, peace, and presence. The money is just the energy vortex to get there. And I think we've all been misled. So the goal of Fulfillionaire and this podcast, not only to bring other Fulfillionaires on, we all have different ways to do this. And we all have different definitions of what 4-dimensional wealth is. And simply 4-dimensional wealth, we're going to talk about it. It's your purpose wealth. What is your purpose wealth? What is your health wealth? What is your community and relationship wealth like? And what is your time wealth? And then can you have your money working for those higher 4 dimensions? And when you put it together and you bring money and purpose together, we're going to talk about this because I think Miki's got a few ideas on this. It just goes on fire. So last thing about Fulfillionaire, and then we're going to kind of move on. Dropping my youngest son off in college 4 weeks ago was a thing. And it's still a thing. I'm still really emotional about it. For all of you who have kids, young kids, you're going to see from the minute they cried their first breath, the bookmark is goodbye, I love you, I hope you have a great time in college. I hope you have the time of your life. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. The 2-minute phone calls, Dad, I'm so busy. Can you send $800 because I need to buy a tux? Because I'm going to some prom in Oklahoma or whatever. I need steel-toed shoes because I'm building a stage. I can't even ask them what it's for anymore. Just send the money. But what really got clear, and I know Nairi is going through her own experience of this right now, is this idea of what is a second summit and what does it really mean? How do you go from success to significance? And I really think this has been a calling for me for several years, but with Kaylee's help in sending me to Bali, where I recently spoke at the I Am Creation Summit, it's like Mother Earth, divinity, whatever it is calling me just to spend more and more time in this world of really educating. And my ultimate goal is to create 10,000 Fulfillionaires in the next 36 months. Whoa. And a Fulfillionaire is one who's gone from fear and scarcity to presence, to clarity around their money, to ultimately getting to impact and significant contribution as a servant leader. So that's what I'm after. 10,000. I'm a numbers guy. I can't help it. I'm a numbers guy. 10,000, 36 months. And now you guys are all being with the honey of Fulfillionaire. Miki, I want to start out before we jump into the podcast a little bit about our story together. I'm still not sure if you get how special our meeting was, but I met Miki right in the thick of COVID, and I was sick as a dog and depressed as a dog. I had that 4-week COVID that just knocked your brain out, knocked everything out. And so when Ryan Moran invited me to his capitalism conference, I tried every excuse not to go. For a change, I didn't want to talk to people. I was depressed. I just weak. And I took every ounce of my body to get to that conference, not even knowing you were going to be there. And I kind of sat in the back. I didn't want to talk to people. So I just kind of sat in the back and just listened. And then you came on stage being Miki. And this woman is like, her energy and just, it was more than her creativity. And I just had a friend, actually one of my best friends and mentor died 2 weeks earlier. And I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him because he was in Jamaica. I was here. I was sick as a dog. I didn't really get to even say goodbye to him on the phone.
Did he die of COVID?
He actually died of something else. He died of a brain aneurysm. And he's like, can you help me? Can you come here and be with me when I'm dying? And I'm like, I can't. But when I saw you on stage, it felt like a message from God that part of his wacky spirit, his name was Dino, this wacky guy was in you. And I was guided to come up to you, even though I didn't feel like it, to say, hi, I'm JP. We don't know each other, but I want to get to know you. And that's exactly what happened with us.
And you were the only friend I made at that conference.
Yeah.
Actually, I was like, love this guy's vibe.
And that was me kind of like, I also want to acknowledge, Miki, that knowing you, you never know what life's going to give you. So we started out, we were at a party, and I'm like, yeah, I do these weekend couples retreats. You're like, I want to go. Let's go do that. So next thing I know, there was chanting in the backyard, all kinds of fun things going on. And then you're like, I have this trip coming up to the Antarctica. And then Miki tries to sell me that this is a family-friendly trip with my 13 and 14-year-old at the time. And I don't think it was quite as PG as you thought it was. I think I had to explain cuddle puddles and a couple other things that they didn't know.
And then they came back the most he made out with like the most hot girl in school when he came back. What's
Not
up?
me, my son.
Okay, yeah, the son. Yeah, the confidence that
Janet,
these
1, 2, 3
kids
testing
got on that trip. Tell you what.
And so Miki, being in your orbit is why I wanted you to be the first one on here. Being in your orbit of creativity, love, purpose, passion, how you bring, I don't even know how you do it because it's like, I think I go fast, but there's like this dust devil of joy and you just got to follow Miki's vibe, but it always leads to beauty. And it always leads to like next incredible friend, whether it's Josh or I can just go around the room. And which is why when you said, let's go to Brazil, you and your sis, I'm like, we're going to Brazil.
Yeah.
Sign me up, I'm in. So thank you for all you
God.
brought to my life.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah. And so Miki, being the Fulfillionaire that you really are, knowing that, it's beyond money, but you've created a lot of money as well. It's really like, have you created these other things in your life? And I want to start with purpose wealth and kind of understand really how you do purpose wealth. And I know before we jump in, I have some specific questions for you, but you mentioned this idea of soft power, that you're really passionate. And once again, I feel like we're in alignment.
Yeah.
So in purpose and purpose wealth, tell me more about soft power and what that means to you. And then I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you all for coming. And I love the concept of Fulfillionaire.
Right?
Just the concept just gives me gives me an exhale, which feels so good. And when I think about purpose, I mean, I grew up, my mother's from Japan and my father's from India. And he came to America with $5 in his pocket. He grew up like very average, class in India. For a couple of years, he actually didn't have access to clean toilets. So, but for the most part, he came from a very loving family that supported his education. And when I was 11 years old, I went to India for the first time and had my parents took out a loan. They took them 10 years to pay off to take us to India, which was such a it was one of the most game-changing trip of my life as an 11-year-old. And going there, I witnessed poverty. I witnessed children who didn't have parents, who were like 4 years old begging for food at the railroad station. And I was like, Mama, Daddy, like, where are their parents? Like, I was so sheltered. I didn't even know like that this was possible. And it just like, so my sister and I, we the next many days that we were there, we would just like make bread and butter and just give it to all the children for the next, we were 11 ourselves, but it was like so baffling to us that kids just didn't have parents or just anyways. And so cut to becoming an entrepreneur, like purpose had to be absolutely woven into what we were doing. There had to have been some give back. Otherwise it wouldn't have been fulfilling. It wouldn't have been fulfilling. There had to be, it's not just like I should have a give back as like a marketing ploy, but actually deeply woven in to the projects. And so, my first business when I started, and I'll talk about soft power in a second, but the first business I started was a restaurant, and I created New York City's first gluten-free farm-to-table pizza restaurant. Josh also was like a food god, yeah. And really, we were the first restaurant to be the first farm-to-table gluten-free restaurant that worked with local farms, created local jobs, like really partnered with local, the local farming community. 20 years ago, this year marks our 20-year anniversary, which is wild, my restaurant. Yeah. And then starting things, the period-proof underwear, like there had to be a give back woven in beyond, we've helped divert hundreds of millions of tampons and pads from landfills. We've also helped now millions of women in the developing world, be able to receive and buy affordable menstrual pads so they can stay in school. And we've funded, this organization in Uganda that makes washable cloth pads that allows them to, to grow their business. Like for every pair of underwear we sold, we funded this company in Uganda to make washable pads, and we helped them grow their business from 25 employees to over 200 employees. So really creating an empowerment model. So learned a lot about that. And then, with Tushy, really helping save trees and really funding restoring reforestry projects. So like for me, purpose, and then now Hiro, creating the very first diaper that comes with fungi that can break down diaper plastics or plastics in general, like partnering with nature to heal nature. It's like without that fulfillment, it's just like it's like you go limp real quick, like it's really not.
But it's incredible, Miki, because you make it sound like it's so obvious, and it's obvious to me, but it hasn't always been obvious to me. It's been my journey. I think for a lot of entrepreneurs that are working hard, they're thinking of their families. It's like they're trying to be altruistic. They're not trying to, it's just like a blind spot. And so the fact that somehow you clicked into that so early, it felt so natural to you. I talk to so many people these days, and it's just not a framework that comes natural to a lot of people.
Yeah. And also like being an entrepreneur for the last 20 years, like I've had to raise money in a very patriarchal world and in a very dominated where even today, only 2% of women are getting invested in still today. And again, like I didn't like put my pink hat on with the bunny ears and go and like, whatever march, which, no disrespect, but to me, like the way to change culture is to build something of value that then I've now invested in over 40 women entrepreneurs. And so it's like, that's how you don't complain, you just create and then you can change consciousness and change culture. And soft power is a framework. So I sat on the board of Conscious Capitalism for 5 years with John Mackey. Mm-hmm. And the idea behind conscious capitalism is, a pure capitalist business is just shareholder growth, is like shareholder value. Can every quarter, does a shareholder make money? A conscious business is a stakeholder model. It's not a shareholder model. It's a stakeholder model where every stakeholder wins in the ecosystem. It's the shareholder, a very important stakeholder. It's the employee, it's the customer, it's the supplier, and it's the planet. Once every single stakeholder wins, a conscious business outperforms a pure shareholder-led business by a factor of 10.5 to 1 over a 15-year period. So building a conscious business actually outperforms by a factor of 10 times a pure shareholder-led business financially. Like, it's so obvious.
That's really a mic drop moment to like think about that. Because I think we still to this day, so many people are like, well, JP, if I invest with you and you're doing social projects, how much of a return do I need to take off to be with you? What's it going to cost me? I'm like, that's not the model here.
It's not the model. And so it's like when you actually can show like actually that a conscious business outperforms by 10.5 to 1, like people are like, I'm stupid for just thinking about a shareholder, the old paradigm way.
Yeah.
And I believe that if you tack on this soft power framework that I've been kind of cultivating over the last several years on top of conscious capitalism, you can 100x your impact and return. And the soft power framework is really an energetic framework. And it's a framework that starts with really, really attuning to yourself, and then attuning to a two-person dynamic, like how to really, really vibrate in a relationship with someone. Because ultimately business is about relationships. That is really what it's all about. And if you can learn how to attune to each other in a way that really both can flourish, then it's an immediate like energetic lift. Then, so it's attunement to self, attunement in two-person dynamic, then attunement within your company. What does your company really need? Like, what if I tune in? Like, what does this mission really need? Sometimes we're so caught up in the busy that we just don't really tune in to what it really needs. And then tuning into your community. Who are the community members in this ecosystem? We are living so much in this single individual minded ecosystem, like toxic individualism, as my sister calls it. She wrote the book Belong. And instead of being in this true ecosystem led consciousness, where, as we know, when an ecosystem is diverse and it works together, it is so much more robust than a monoculture or a single, you're on your own over here with your family, like taking care of my family, but not taking care of the ecosystem, then everything is fucked.
Yeah.
And then it's attuning to the planet. And again, like, I believe that the most potent thing we can do is remember our interconnectedness with nature. And I know it feels like almost like a platitude now, but I really believe that if we attune to nature, like, nature actually has your back. And miracles happen. Like, it'll help the energetic flow of your business and of what you're creating. If you actually, not because you're like marketing and whatever, it's going to help me because I'm helping, then it's going to give me money. And then no, it's because it's so fucking true. And when it's true, like, miracles happen. Like, it's just true. And a viral thing that you couldn't even expect happens. And this, nature is here to back you up. One of the things I did, and I'll pause after that, is, and this is like, I went to the Amazon rainforest with Lynn Twist and her team at Pachamama Alliance. And I went to the 88 million acres of the sacred headwaters of the Amazon rainforest. We flew in little prop planes and we were dropped in the middle of the 88 million acres. And then these prop planes left and there were no roads, nothing, obviously nothing. And it was just us in the middle of the forest with the Achuar Nation, the tribes people, and then the Sapra Nation tribes people who've never been to the modern world, ever in their lives. They've lived in the forest and literally fished and been in nature their whole lives. And, being there and watching their attunement, like if someone had a sunburn or someone got sick, like they would literally scurry into the forest and find some herbs, literally like plants, and then they would come and they would put it on your body or give it to you. And then literally like within the hour, you're healthy. Like, it's some of the wildest things, like all the answers are in nature. We've just forgotten. And so one of the things that I did is I gave some of my personal equity to the Pachamama Alliance as part of tithing to nature. And now I feel backed by 88 million acres of sacred headwaters, Amazon rainforest. They are on our team. Like they are there. Like whenever I'm having a tough time, I go outside and I feel they're going like, you got this, like the trees, you know? And it really matters. It freaking matters. And if we tune to them like they're real, because they are beings, then it's just true magic happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had I've gotten really involved this year with a philanthropic cause. And my rabbi always says, if I know, I go, how much do you know to give away? He goes, give till it hurts. There's a reason for that expression. He goes, you'll know you're growing. You'll know it's spiritual sacrifice when it hurts. When it's easy to give $50 or $100, you're not even close. And so I tried it. And I'm going a little on a tangent, but I promise
I
to get
love
back.
this. No, this is great.
So there's one rule in the Bible or the Torah, and it says there's only one time that God says you can ask to prove that God exists. It's when you donate. It's when you tithe. When you tithe, he says the rule is you will get tenfold back. It's just like it's like the law of God and the law of nature. And so I tried that, and two things happened, and it was definitely an edge for sure. Number one is our current president did a huge tax rebate under Trump won, and the exact amount that I gave, I got back on an unexpected tax refund, and I didn't expect that.
Wow.
And we just had Sukkot, which is the harvest festival. And this is a new place for young professionals to meet. And this was actually inspired partly by Antarctica, by the way, by Adina and some of your friends, Ross and David Yaris. So I'm watching these people eat dinner together, young professionals that are between 20 and 40 and meeting. And one over there is like, I can tell she's about to get asked out on a date. And like, we created a community that didn't exist. And I'm watching it time and time again. They just had their first party for 300 people. And like nature, I had that moment. I just looked at Jan and I'm like, that was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't want to do it. Like, there's all the reasons not to do it, right? Too busy, it hurts. And then you just keep getting rewarded beyond your belief when you just finally like surrender to that. So Miki, I want to ask you a question. And I love soft power, and I feel like soft power and Fulfillionaire, of course, we're aligned, which isn't shocking. You said to me, I remember we once had a conversation, and I asked you, because what fascinates me about you is you're not a typical entrepreneur who has an idea and just runs it through, you know, like you feel things. You talk about like being in your body a lot and really flowing and like letting the energy be in your body. And I know with Thanks, and I know with Hello Tushy, and I even know with Hiro, you said, you know, it's always a problem that when it happens to me first, like I notice it's my problem first, but then that's not good enough is what you told me. You're like, just because it's my problem doesn't mean it's a problem that the world needs solving. So then I go to a couple of my friends and I ask them, but there's lots of things in the world. I'm just curious, because that's just like, when you said that, you can tell you told me that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still remember
Good
like
job.
that conversation. Tell us about your creative process. Like what's going on from here's a problem for me. I think my friends are having the same problem. Let's go spend the next 5 years. Let's go raise money, start a company against all odds and just make this shit happen. Like, where does that come from?
I mean, the tiger mom in me is very, very pleased that he remembered the three questions. The three questions I asked myself before starting any project, any business, is the first one is what sucks in my world? It has to really actually be a pain point. The second question is, does it suck for a lot of people? Because if it just sucks for me, then I'm just a prima donna. And if it sucks for a lot of people, then there's an opportunity. There's a market. There's something there to solve. And then the third is the most important one is, can I be truly passionate about this issue, cause, or community for a really long time? It takes 10 years to be an overnight success. It's not like I'm going to be like an Instagram and sell for $1 billion within 2 years. Like that's like winning the lottery. Yeah. And people assume that they're like, ooh, like this is opportunistic and I'm going to start a t-shirt company with cat memes because cat memes are really in right now. And you're like, please don't do that, you know? And it's like there is this like opportunisticness, like even like the crypto thing, bless everyone, love it all. And you know, but it like the part that it needs to be so true that doesn't, you know, that you can sit in the discomfort of like, will I make it for 10 years at the very least? And you look at all these companies that have taken 30 years to like, you know, my friends just sold their company and it took their mom 19 years to make their first $1 million. And then now they just sold for, $500 million, something like that. And it's such a cool story to feel like the patience that's required. And, when I tune into nature, it's so interesting. One of the, like things I found out that's really interesting to share is like bamboo grows like first it takes 4 years for the bamboo to grow underground, to cultivate, to patriate, to really get ready. And then boom, 4 years later, it starts shooting up 39 inches per day. Boom, 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 boom. And it just grows and grows and grows. People are like, bamboo grows like a weed. And it's like, no, it took 4 years to really cultivate underground. And so, when I think about all the businesses, Thinx took 4.5 years to make the underwear. Tushy took many years to get the product right. Hiro took 4.5 years just to get the version 1 ready to go. And now we're at the stage of growing. And then it's going to take probably several more years to just, get to the next phase of growth. And you have to have like that nature patience. Like things are happening simultaneously, but you have to be patient enough to cultivate.
I mean, Miki, it's been cool because one of the things I do now, I generally, at this point in my life, like to invest in a lot of things that have passive cash flow. I don't do a lot of startup investing unless it's a cause that I care about or a person that I care about, because then it becomes an excuse for me to pay attention. And that was actually when I invested in Hiro. It really was my belief in you and also what this has, what this is going to do for the planet. Absolutely. And what amazed me, Miki, because I feel like I've been on that journey when you first moved in to that office, when I saw the lab, when you and Tiro were experimenting with which mushroom, if any, I mean, you took a lot of risk and a lot of time, which mushroom, if any, could actually break down a certain kind of plastic.
There's over 600 strains that can break, that we discovered that can break down plastic.
But I remember the conversations, we're not sure if we can even do this yet or not. Like, we're not sure if it's going to work. Maybe we come out with the diaper container first. Like it was like, there were so many roadblocks, and I'd see that. I'm like, most people would just give up. I mean, and that's why, like, when a lot of people ask me, should I start a company? Like, in my head, I don't always tell the truth. I'm like, you're not built for this. You have to be built to do this. It is so hard. And like you said, you just have to want it so bad. And I see that in you. And I'd love for you to, if you would share with us, why here, of all the things, what was it about diapers? I mean, obviously, tell your story about, and then how you got to this moment.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a divine moment. And I, having a child, it's like one of the greatest joys of your life. And it's also one of the wildest waste creators. And you just like, whoa, like it hit me so big. And as someone who, again, like created underwear that's reusable, that you can wash over and over again and lasts for years, and a bidet that you can attach your toilet once and it lasts for years, to then having to go through 20 diapers a day and then your diaper bag to the bin is just like, oh my God, it's truly heart-wrenching. And also the diapers themselves were just like bad products. And so really, like one day I was just sitting in my bedroom. I started taking what I call Friday thinking days. I cannot recommend this enough. Everyone should have at least some time blocked. It might not have to be a whole day, but some time blocked where you really, really can just sit and tune in to nature, or have a chance to read a creative book. Like right now, I walk around everywhere I go with Rick Rubin's book, because I'm always, any chance I can have a moment. And it's like, if you see like how I read, it's like I read and I'm always like writing inside the pages, like, and it's like, this is, it's just, that's how I read. I write and I read, and it gives me so many ideas to create. And I'm just, and taking a real every week, like you meditate every morning, or go to the gym every day, or you eat healthy. Like it's a practice, and we are who we practice to be. And to take like a real creative day for me every week is so, so, so important. Yana, my assistant, knows, like, do not put anything on those days unless it's like in the morning, like, press that can't talk to me any other time, or, but really that day is like, very, very, very sacred otherwise. And on a thinking day, I was just like looking out the window, and I was just like, oh my God, wait a minute. Breast milk is considered liquid gold because it's so nutrient rich, right? And so baby poop must be fertilizer gold. And right now we're wrapping billions of pounds of this Mama Juju fertilizer in plastic, to the tune of billions of pounds of baby poop in plastic, and throwing it in the trash, Right now we're using cow poop and pig poop to fertilize our food. And we're not using our very own beautiful, neotenous, pure human poop for good. So I was like, wait a minute. When the baby poops in the diaper, could the baby poop fertilize something to grow and eat the diaper plastic? Like, what could that be? Like, what could break down plastic fertilized by baby poop? And as I was asking myself what could break down plastic, my son, Hiro, comes running into my room, points to a book in my nightstand while saying, Pacha, Pacha, Pachamama, which means mother, mother, mother earth. Like literally saying mother earth. And I open this book, I pull it out, and on page 31, it says certain types of fungi can break down plastic. Distracted, like I would have missed what could break down plastic. Hiro come running in, pointing. I would have been like, I'm thinking, like, but it's like tuning into the goddess and gods that our children are, tuning into being in the present moment. We all know that miracles happen in the pure present moment. Like we know that always. And oftentimes you have to like take mushrooms to be present. But like when you're actually tuning into the depths of the present moment, like miracles. And that was a miracle moment where I was like, oh my God, fungi that can break down plastic. Oh my God. And then, of course, we named it after my son, Hiro. And 4 years later, we, have our very first V1 version of, sleeping friendly fungi inside this little pouch that you add after every diaper change. When a baby soils their diaper, you just take the soiled diaper off the baby, you drop a little pouch in, you close it, and you throw it in the trash. And in a couple of weeks, little fungi will start to wake up, fertilized by the baby's poop or pee, and start to grow. And our vision is to be landfill biodegradable in under 12 months instead of 400 to 500 years that it takes for diapers to return to the earth. Every baby goes through 6,000 diapers that take 400 to 500 years to break down. The number of diapers that end up in landfills every year globally could circle the earth 1,500 times per year. The very first disposable diaper, every one of your disposable diapers are still in a landfill somewhere today. Like, it's just, when you throw something away, it's like, where is away? That away is now inside our brains, our bodies, and inside the umbilical cord of babies. Like the plastic is now inside umbilical cords of babies and is disrupting so many parts of our bodies because we haven't thought about the end of life. So that's the story of Hiro. And we spent the last 4.5 years really bringing together the top team of, like, I call it the Ocean's 11 of PhDs in microremediation, biology, PhD in chemistry, PhD in biodegradation, the top people in diaper engineers, like entrepreneurs, to come together to figure out if we can really, really tune in and harness nature to heal nature. And we are on the Hiro's journey, and we hope you join us.
But the diapers are for sale now, right?
And the diapers are for sale. HiroDiapers.com. Right now, for some reason, we're not being indexed on Google. So you actually have to go to HiroDiapers.com to find it. It's crazy because we were Hiro Technologies for many years. And I think it just fritzed Google a little bit. So it's going to take a second. But HiroDiapers.com. Share it with all the pregnant mamas, all the mamas with babies. It would mean so much.
I want to shift, but this is just amazing. And Miki, it's really fun because to get one-on-one time with you, even with this group, it's like I'm watching you evolve, and it's really fun. Like, I know we did a podcast early on.
Yeah.
And like, your energy, and like, it's really fun to watch you and your artistry. It's beautiful. It's great. I want to ask you, so we talk about community and people wealth.
Yeah.
I think you've kind of got this community thing down pretty well. You and your sister both are some of the most incredible community leaders. And it's not just about the trips. It's about the communities. It's weird. I can go anywhere in the world. I'm in Bali, 10 people from Daybreakers or from your world. Like, I can't go anywhere in the world that isn't somehow connected to you or Daybreakers. And it's always with a smile. And it's almost like we know if you're part of that, you're a conscious human being. And how do you, you're a conscious collaborator, but somehow you make it like effortless. You attract a very social impact. Like there is a thing. It's a spiritually heart-centered, deeply caring, non-bullshit, really authentic human. Like, I would say that's what I find. couple exceptions we
Yeah,
can joke
yeah, yeah,
about, but mostly we won't name drop. But most of that, I find that to be true. And
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like we talk about community wealth being so important, and you've got that. You've done that in a way that looks so effortless. How?
Well, it's interesting. Thank you for saying that. And it takes one to know one, because you also are one of those people, and lots, there's leaders here who are so good at that as well. Entrepreneurs always ask me, like, what's the number one piece of advice you can give me to, as an entrepreneur, like new entrepreneur or something. And I would just say, literally show up for your friends. Like, show up for your friends on their birthdays. Show up for your friends when it's like their launch of their thing. Show up for your friends when they're having something that's important to them. Like, show up. Can't be like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm building my thing, I can't come. And then all of a sudden, like, you stop getting invited, you start isolating more and more and more, and then entrepreneurship becomes really, really lonely. And so showing up, I think, is really, really important. I think Rod and I just show up for our friends. Like, it means so much to us to, like, be there, in service of, like, our community. And I think that's, you can just count on us to be there if you need us.
But I notice you also weave into, even if I went to your Hiro right now, Laurie, like you've weaved in your community people that you love, and somehow you magically recruit them one by one.
Yeah.
And you get them over to your work things, and it's like this. It's like this beautiful. It just works. How does that work? How do you? I know Ingrid's your latest one that you've brought over to the team. How does that happen? Is that the magic of what you're talking about? Is that just kind of the miracle, or is there something behind it?
I think there's also, like, when you meet someone who's, like, in your energetic backpack, like, my sister also, again, she wrote this amazing book about belonging that's so great called Belong. And it's like, what's in your energetic backpack? Like, and I really, like, both of us have talked about that for a long time. Like, the idea of, like, you can meet someone and you're like, oh, like, that person's my vibe. Like, when I met you, I was like, this person's my friend. Like, no question, we vibe. Like, I knew that we would be able to hang on many different planes. And I think when I moved to Austin, like, I had zero friends, and I contacted my friend Jessie, and I was like, and a bunch of friends. I was like, if you know anyone moving to Austin, if you know anyone in Austin, connect us, and then we'll start inviting them over for dinner and start to, like, organize. And we grew, like, a little community we call the Boom Spiral in Austin, from, like, zero to there's, like, 190 people in it, or 200 people in it now. And it's one by one. And like, my sister and I, we always talk about, like, we have, like, deep, like, strong onboarding practices. Like, if we love you, you're, like, onboarded hard. Like, like, we're, like, just, like, circling, like, and then we become friends, and now you're in the community, and then we kind of let go, and they're like, what happened to the onboarding? And we're like, no, we're all here now. But it's like, when you meet your like-minded person, you really cherish the energetics of that person, and then you make sure that they feel really special, really included, because they are to you. And then you make sure that they meet everyone in the community, so then they're now connected to everyone in the community, so now they can't leave.
Well,
And
they don't want to leave.
They don't want to, but they can't either, because it's, like, so much fun, and it's like everyone's, like, co-elevating, and it's this, like, uplifting, right? Like, yeah. And so it's like, yeah, Josh is, like, deep in, like, the deep close circle. Yeah. And it's like, when you're, like, yeah, we feel deep kinship, and we want to, like, it's ride or die energy.
But you've done a good job of not making it too hierarchical. I mean, some people come.
No,
but
yeah.
you guys are pretty good with the.
No,
just like, please.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
not. It's so weird. No, it's like, there's, it's so funny, because, like, it's my sister and I, sometimes when we're, like, in the beginning, like, years ago, when we would introduce lots of people, and then they would, like, sometimes, like, have dinner and hang out without inviting us, and we're like, but we introduced them, why don't they, like, invite us? And so it's just, like, the little girl inside of us that feel like, like, but it's like, you can't invite everyone to everything all the time. And so we would have these clearing conversations, like, well, how come we weren't invited? They're like, well, because, like, we're just having a dinner. I was like, okay, you're right. Like, and so it's like, you have to, like, eventually, like, it's everyone joins the soup, and then now you become part of the melange, and it's not like, that's it. And, like, deeper bonds get formed that are way deeper, even if you introduce, like, it doesn't matter. The whole point is, like, it's a cultivation.
I think people
of
sometimes try to, like, take advantage of that community or figure out where they fit, because it's, like, natural. I want to feel, like, powerful or important.
Yeah.
But when you've done your spiritual work and you realize you don't need that validation to feel important, then it's a whole different thing.
There's nothing, but it's like to me that's such low vibes.
I get it.
You know, and then you actually can't have friends who are high vibe when you're like that low vibe where you need hierarchy in a community. It's stupid. Yeah. No offense.
So I'm going to segue from that to time wealth because Miki, I don't know your secret, and I've been accused of being an Energizer bunny, and sometimes too much for my wife because she's like, shh, and Kaylee, we can't even keep track of Kaylee. But how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you stay grounded? I know everybody wants a little piece of your attention, from the business to your friends. Everybody, you're very well loved, and I know you and I share that everybody wants a little piece of you, and I know what that feels like sometimes. How do you manage that? And like, it was funny when we were supposed to have dinner last night and she didn't show, and I was totally fine with it because but it was totally by Joe Stolte didn't show either.
Oh, good. Okay.
But it was fine because it was very but it was very Miki, and it was like, and it wasn't even
no, I show up, guys. That's it. I didn't even know it was happening. It wasn't confirmed.
But it was so perfect.
It actually wasn't confirmed.
It was so perfect that you didn't.
No, I literally didn't know. I literally messaged what's her face. I was like, Sophia. I was like, I just like
my life.
Next time, text me because I didn't even see the party full.
But here's the point, because I agree with you.
Okay.
And by the way, the joke is like, that was perfect.
Okay, great.
It was so perfect.
Because it was like people are eating like pig's feet, which I don't even eat.
But
so it's fine.
But what I find with me, and maybe tell me how you do it. This is back to the time question. Is you kind of like, I feel like you interact with time in a very nonlinear way. You kind of like have this massive cosmic relationship with time where like you kind of know where to be at just the right time, and like you can bounce in and bounce out. But yet you seem very grounded. When you're here, you're here. Sometimes you're there, but like when you're there, you're there. Yeah. How do you do that? How do you do so much, have so many things going on, stay present, stay in the vibe? Like, what's your secret for doing that?
Well, I have a Yano, my assistant, everyone who's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I have to he's always like, did you set your alarms this morning? Like, I have to set my alarms or I'll miss them, because if I'm like present in conversation with someone, like I'll just forget I have a bunch of meetings and I'm here, and then I'll miss, then he has to reschedule, whatever. And so I have to set alarms. And sometimes I even like turn my alarms off and keep talking. Right. And then he has to call me and text me and be like, are you on the call? And I'm like, because I'm much like, oh, the noise of the alarm. And then I turn it off and I keep
Cody's
and it's like
Cody's been putting up with me for about 12 years doing this right now.
That move. It's so annoying. And so there is a dance for sure. And, to figure out like Friday thinking days to really have that time off, or to share, like, we're going to the Amazon and I need that time and space to really be present. I have been like focused on Hiro deeply these last several months, and I do need some spaciousness to just just let it all integrate. And so like knowing, for me, my dream is, my ideal is like calls and meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from between 10 and 3. Mm-hmm. My dream. Yep. Yano.
Yep. Get it.
And then Monday and Friday, like, are more just flow creative days. So I actually have like a longer form ability to really go and think of like ideas and things like that. That it requires time and space. And so, yeah, I really like, make sure that my weekends are there is a lot of fun stuff that happens on the weekends, but Friday's thinking days, and like really making sure that as many calls are like in the same time as possible, back to back. So I have more spaciousness in between that. But yeah, that's one thing that's like, it's, as you're starting a new company, it's a challenge, like right now I am focusing more, but I like don't want to do anything else than build. And so like I'm in a new phase. Yeah.
I've learned lately, Janet, my wife's love language is time together, time well spent together. And I've been bouncing. So like literally when she says, I got to like find the cues, and when the cues happen, I have to like pretend like I have nothing else going on. Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Like, of course I have time. Like cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should totally hang out. But it's so important. And it's always the gift to me.
I love that.
Of slowing down.
I love your relationship with Jan and how you guys have really navigated, evolved, been through your own like experimentation of relationship after all these years with children, growing up, and like what are your, how do you again like collaborate together and still find the sexiness and still find the play and still find the joy, and renewed energy. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You get married every day. You don't get married one day, it's marrying. It's just this ongoing commitment to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I'm going to save the time thing between you and I. We'll save our amazing race story. I think it's,
Oh, it's such a good story. Just 1 sec. It should be like a.
Okay, as part of time, this is how Miki and I kind of bonded together. And if you guys know me, well, it's not, this one wasn't my fault though. So
It was neither our faults.
no, it really wasn't our fault,
Yeah,
right?
I know,
Okay,
wasn't.
so we're going to Antarctica like every other, the family. It's spring break. I canceled my plans to go to Utah. Mickey's telling me this is the family-friendly trip to Antarctica. The only thing is we had to catch a plane because it was a chartered plane because it turns out there's not many planes going to the tip of South America. So one plane for our group,
From
it's
Miami
COVID,
to South America, and then South America
Argentina.
to Argentina, then Argentina to Antarctica.
to catch the boat. And if you miss the boat, you miss the
We're
boat.
out.
There's no second chances at the boat. So we caught a plane, and this was my fault because I said to Janet, book it on Spirit Airlines, which I should have known.
Because Miami, like Austin to Miami is like 2-hour flight.
Yeah, it's like direct. It was only direct flight, so I did Spirit Airlines.
Same.
You did the same.
Yeah.
So I'm there with my kids. We're all packed up. It's spring break. 6:30. Calling the Uber. Let's get going. 6:30 a.m. And I get this little text from Spirit Airlines. We've canceled the flight. Like we're with our suitcases, right? We've
So
canceled.
it was me, my ex-husband, and my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've canceled this flight. No explanation why. And then all of a sudden I'm with my family. I'm like, oh, okay, what do we do? And we really only had about a 4 or 5 hour window of finding another flight or we lose the whole spring break.
Yeah.
Because the boat leaves. The boat doesn't care. And every airline was full because it was spring break, which was why we were taking the kids. It was spring break. I was like, can you fly through London? Can you fly through Sao Paulo? Maybe I can fly through we're checking the weirdest shit out. And there was zero calculation of any probability. I had my 14-year-old on the phone, calling, we're all going for it. and somehow I see Miki on text and I'm realizing she's having the same problem. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna
miss the
spring
flight.
break is
We're gonna
over.
miss Antarctica, the trip of a lifetime with our 7th continent that we've been planning for months.
So I call Miki because I see that she's stuck too. I say, Miki, this really, really sucks. And she goes, JP, you got to find a private plane. You've got an hour. It's Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. Go find us a private plane. Get us to Miami. It's like Amazing Race. This is going to be Amazing Race. It's just a game.
I was like,
this is just a game.
This is
and we're
Amazing
going.
Race. We are doing this, and you have 1 hour to find us a private plane. We'll figure this out. We'll
figure it out. Cost doesn't matter. We're not losing this damn trip. And so not only did we find the plane,
He found the plane.
Yeah, but we found the plane, and the plane held 8 or 7. It was 7 or 3 and 4 plus the pilot. So it was every seat for every one of us. And it just so happened, because think about it, even if you get a plane, what's the odds of getting a pilot that's ready to fly or a plane that's gassed up? And it was divine providence that there was a plane gassed up, the pilot was awake, he stopped, got us breakfast, and we just went.
It was divine. It was
pretty
divine. You couldn't make it up. That was a wild.
That's our bond. That's our
Yeah.
Amazing Race story together.
I know. We
for
were
sure,
like, oh my
right?
God, let's go. Yeah, it was amazing.
Let's jump a little bit into health wealth. This is the last one, health wealth. Vitality, I'm kind of guessing comes pretty natural for you, kind of like energy. What does keep you though, like balance? I know it sounds like you get your quiet time. I know you kind of it sounds like you get your spiritual time. Do you have any secrets in your hacks between sleeping?
I do.
Or what you do to kind of keep that intensity and not let the battery run out?
Yeah, there's a few. One is I'd get massaged every single week, most of the times twice a week. One lymphatic drain and one deep tissue. And I don't own a handbag, as you can see. I don't own I have the same shoes I've worn for whatever. I don't get my nails. Look at them. I don't care about that shit. But I need my lymphatic drain. I need my massage. And you can prioritize the most important parts of your life. People are like, well, I can't afford that. No, you can, if you prioritize the things that matter the most. And so that's a non-negotiable for me. And then food, I eat very simply. I eat kind of like a rabbit. Meat, veggies, some rice, and berries.
That's why the dinner wasn't meant for you. It was nature nature protecting your stomach lining.
Exactly. I was like, oh God, yeah. But I missed the fucking particle. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm in trouble on camera now.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing is I really, for the most part, I don't hold grudges. And I think like, you like, I'm really like, my sister and I were twins. So like, we just talk process a lot. Like I'm a processor. And I think it's so important to like process your feelings. And I think like so much cancer or so much of the stuff is like blocked feelings from coming out. Like I really know that to be true, and it's emotional. And then yeah, of course the workouts, the food, massage, like I try to sleep like, 8 hours a night, as best as I can. So I do, yeah. And so it's like, that's the basics. But I do like, I want to share one story quickly, which is like, when my husband and I were going through our divorce, ex-husband, I call my husband.
Which you've handled beautifully, by the way.
Yeah, we wore matching tracksuits on divorce day. And we called it Divorce Day, and we're like, Divorce Day, and we were just, and the judge was like, why are you guys smiling and in matching tracksuits? And we were like, well, because we want to, like, just show ourselves that divorcing can be still loving and fun, like, and he was like, never mind, carry on, and we're just like, he was so baffled. And divorce is hard. It wasn't like that wasn't a fun, it was like a moment that we both just like understood that we had to like tune into that moment. And it was just like, we had an amazing run. We got married in 3 days of falling in love, within 3 days. And then we were married for 12 years with a beautiful baby boy Hiro. And so like, every year at Burning Man, people are like, wow, you guys are still together. That's impressive, and every year, and so, so we had a beautiful run. And I remember like, from a wellness and well-being perspective, like going through that period of time, it was just like, oh my God, like my son, like I only will get him half the time. Like this is really scary for me. And Andrew, met this his new partner, who's Mal, who I call her best case scenario. She's amazing. And I was in a new relationship as well. So it was okay that way. But divorce, money and all this shit, it's not fun for a while. And so I knew that there was 2 ways a relationship could go. It can go either we just get spread further apart because like, the crunchiness of the final signing and all that stuff, even after the divorce date and the actual paperwork stuff happened, or like find a way to come back together in a way that was like healthy in this new phase. And so what I did was Andrew was going to Costa Rica for 2 months with his new partner. And I just decided, and with Hiro, with my son, was the first summer that he was going to spend a month with them in Costa Rica. So I was like, I'm going to Costa Rica for a month, and I'm just going to get a place 5 minutes away by myself. And we were still really crunchy at the time. And I promised myself, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm just going to show up on the beach for like 4 hours and play with Hiro every single day and slowly befriend him again and her and like become a family. And so the first week, he's like, what are you doing here? Like, just like, do you hate me? Whatever. It's just like all this stuff from the, the crunchiness. And then I just, just kept showing up, and they didn't say go away. So that was great. And so I just kept showing up. And finally, after a week, my ex was like, would come to the water. I was playing with Hiro in the water, and he'd be like, can I play with you guys? And we're like, yeah, come play. And so we just sort of composted like all the crunchies of like the last couple of years, like in the ocean. And then by the end of it, like all of us, including Mel and him, all of us were like hugging and crying. And like by 30 days later, it was like, like this is how you recover. And there's always a way to like swallow your pride in a way, like even if it was mutual, they were still like, hey, me again, like want to play, and for love. And so I think like from a health and wellness, and it's like if you really like care about that, then that's the most important. Like that's there's nothing else, and you'll do whatever it takes. So now I can go see Hiro every day at their house anytime I want. It's like we have dinner, we hang out. It's like it's like open door policy, and there's just there's nothing but love, And there's fights because he annoys me sometimes, but like whatever, it's like classic, But it's really beautiful that we get to really, really.
It's very unique and very special. And you said like swallowing your pride. That's hard because we all have egos, especially like I would say it's your heart and your money. Those are the ones. And so,
And to be vulnerable and to be like, and to, when I met his new partner and she was so nervous to meet me and I was kind of like nervous and I was just like, you're the other mom. Like now it's like, we got to come together. And it was just like such a beautiful moment. And, we get to show leadership in that way too, within family too, even when it's so hard, at times.
it's amazing. Okay, Miki, you're going to help me. We're going to end this and then we're going to go to Q&A, but you're going to help me end this.
Yeah.
I think I want for this new Fulfillionaire to have 2 questions, and I always ask the same questions of my guest at the end of my show. So I have a couple ideas, and you have to tell me what you think. I want you to answer them and tell me if you like them. And if anyone in the audience has a better question, I'm open to it. So if your soul could share one message with humanity, what would it be?
Tune in.
And do you like the question? You can be honest. We can change the question.
I like it.
Do you like the question?
No, that's a great question.
Okay, because we're just going to ask the same question. You guys are literally co-creating. You're co-creating hopefully the next 100 episodes.
Yeah.
This one, actually, I'm just making this up on the fly. Yeah. When we sit here again, God willing, in 5 years from now, and we've traveled the world together and our friendship has grown, what's your legacy at the end of the day as we keep growing? How do you want to be known? And what have you created behind you? And what's in front of you as a trailblazer?
Yeah, just to be known as like a cheerleader for people on the planet. Like really like when I think of Miki, like she's such a cheerleader for us.
How will you know in your mind that my work mattered? I mean, it matters, of course, but how will you know? Do you have like is it the 10,000th diaper? I'm a numbers guy, so for me, it always comes back to numbers. Is there a feeling, a vision of something in the future, 10,000? Like, is there something that you're like, wow, that was impact?
Yeah, I mean, if we can literally like harness fungi to break down all the plastics in landfills, what a win.
Oh my gosh.
What a win. And if we can where humanity and nature, like it's permaculture, it's like, how do you actually collaborate with nature in a harmonious way to solve an end of life crisis that's really hurting people and the planet, to actually solve it together? Like that would take my breath away. Yeah.
I think you're already doing it. I hear you. And you found, you guys literally said, we're not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. And you were just sitting there and I saw your experimental lab dishes. So
yeah.
You've already introduced nature to a problem and are solving it. Now I just wish you, and I'm sure everyone here, the blessings of not just success for Hiro, but the success for the planet. May there be 10,000 products where mushrooms become the solution to a really messy problem. Yeah. Thank you so much. Love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you. How did episode 1 feel good?
Any questions?
Yeah, we're gonna do some questions.
Okay.
How did you do it? Granular specifics, like did you hire a nanny part-time? How many hours a week? Did you have someone taken to school?
Yeah.
And a follow-up question, if you don't mind me asking this, do you believe that the divorce allowed you to build as many things as you were building?
Of course. I think the right partnership will enhance and my ex-husband, we built side by side together. I built things, and Tushy with him, like side by side while he was building Tribute and his projects, and so it's not like we weren't building together. We were doing it. The divorce actually created a lot of like messiness in focus on actually what we're creating, but it was the right thing for our ecosystem at the time. And now we're able to actually create even more in the right frame today. So the granular piece is, I do have someone take Hiro to school and just pick him up and take him back. And I, of course, go to all the jujitsus and the soccer practice. I'm the assistant soccer coach. I will receive support as needed. And you can actually find it's not that it's like $30 a ride. Like it's not terrible to get someone to and from pick up your son. And it's not too far. It's like, it's worth it for that real time to just center and then start, because otherwise you're just driving and then you have to get back and then you're frazzled because of the traffic and then whatever, and then you have to start and then you're not in the place. And so it's like, I also like for fun DJ from time to time at Burning Man, whatever. But I always think about the transitions. It's like when you transition from waking up to brushing your teeth to like when I have here, it's like packing him lunch and making sure he's fed and making sure that he's all his stuff together and he's ready to go to school, and then we have a conversation, that we love on each other, and then off he goes. And then like, what's the transition to the next moment? I go sit at my altar, I go work out at my gym, and then I start my day. And so it's sort of like, doorways are transitions. Like what are transitions that you can take a breath in, and doorways that you can take, that you can just say like, okay, like I'm now entering this. Now I'm going from this to this transition. I'm going to do it as lyrically as I possibly can. Obviously, it's not going to happen every time, but if you at least have that motivation, that desire, eventually, when it happens one time, you're like I did it, and it feels really good. So, yeah, and it's not. You can find like people to support, and it doesn't have to be so expensive. Like you can also there's lots of like pick up rideshare programs for mom, like whatever. There's so many different ways where it's like, okay, I'll do the drop-offs like twice a week, and then you can do, with other mom, like there's so many ways. Like Hiro loves now to play dates. And so I organize play dates, and sometimes they come to my house and I take care of all the kids, or I drop Hiro off at their house and I can run an errand or two, and then I come back and pick him up on the weekends. So, you make it work and you find community ways to solve for them. But
any other questions, David?
You've got such deep roots with such incredibly extraordinary people who are, I want to know, what does Fulfillionaire mean to you? Two, I want to know, what are 1, 2, or 3 podcast guests that are like cool people that belong on the podcast?
Thank you. Great question.
And then third is, based on all the different stages you get on, from Mind Valley to some of the more like Summit and things like that, what are some places that would be cool to suggest for him?
Yes.
Look at that. So much love coming my way.
Love you. Thank you for those questions. Yeah, I really like the idea of Fulfillionaire and creating 10,000 Fulfillionaires over the next X number of yes is really cool. And I think that the entire paradigm has to shift into this old trauma scale consciousness, and elbow your way to the top, and just ignore everything that's screaming at you internally and externally, to go and just build for what? To end up in a box underground. And it's like, what is actually fulfilling you is the most important thing, and it's the most important question to ask. And it's like, we all are like, we play to win. And it's funny, my boyfriend, he was like, why do you play to win? From we have pickleball after this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's I want to win, And he was like, why? And I was like, because it's fun. And he goes, but isn't just playing fun? And I was like, oh yeah. You're right. But we're so deeply indoctrinated to be like, I play to win. And that's part of the unlearning too. It's like, oh, you actually play to play, And so that's way more fulfilling, because it actually takes the pressure off. It takes the stress off. It takes all the stuff that we've put on ourselves off, and you just play. And, and I'm like, only, at first I was like, well, maybe that's just like participation trophy winners type person who says that. But then you're like, no, that's actually the new paradigm. So you play to play. You play to have fun. You play because you want to move your body and be outside with your friends and who cares who wins a fucking pickleball match? Actually, and so it's like, what is the most fulfilling parts of that? Is being outside, is being in partnership, is playing, is compete. It's just fun.
Right. And people don't usually associate money and fun unless trying to Instagram watching Lamborghini bros do whatever they can, or oligarchs. But for all of us who aren't Lamborghini bros
Right.
or oligarchs and just trying to pay rent, how do we just disrupt the whole thing? That with fulfillment and safety, then you can really be those dreams you were not chasing because you're like, I don't have lack of. By being a Fulfillionaire, what I've learned again and again and again is it takes a lot less money than people think.
100%.
But if you don't know your framework, you can't win.
Yeah.
If you don't have a number, that really matters.
Exactly. And it's like, it's like that whole Tony Robbins thing. He was like, asked his big audience, like, how much money do you want to make? And this one guy's like, $1 billion. And he was like, why? And then he was like, because I want to buy an island. And he's like, why? Like, how long do you think you'll go to the island for? And he's like, well, maybe like once a quarter. And he's like, okay, so you need to like buy an island to go there once a quarter. Maybe you need to rent an island. He's like, well, I want to buy a private plane. And you're like, well, how many times do you think you're going to fly privately? Like, actually. He's like, well, maybe like once a month. And you're like, well, maybe you could just like rent a plane once a month. So like he like eventually like broke down all of the guy's like things that he wanted to buy this and that. And he was like, actually like to be like at super full, like all the ways, like I think it was like $14 million, something like that.
That's
was like
crazy.
the
That's
actual
crazy
maximum like abundance that you need to have everything you need. And again, that's also like $75,000 is actually what you need to be happy. Or less even. Like you don't actually, like I've been to places where people don't fucking have anything and they're happy. Especially, but like in America, like the number, the thing is like anything above $75,000 a year doesn't make you actually happier. Like it's crazy.
Well, it actually creates the net worth dilemma, the net worth trap.
Right.
Most people I see who are wealthy are just, they're in defense.
They're in such, and it's like.
So you can't give, how can we expect to change humanity?
Yeah.
With not just creativity? How do we actually give to others and share better if you're not feeling safe or fulfilled or like you've got enough?
100%.
And that's the issue. I'll tell you, Miki, what I would love to do then. I'm going to ask this from the audience too. This is the birth of a movement. We trademarked Fulfillionaire about 90 days ago. Kaylee got me to Bali speaking about 2 weeks ago. Was I in Bali 2 weeks ago?
I will talk to Vishen about having you on.
Yeah, I think it's time to really elevate the movement. And it's funny, when you get to a certain point in life, it's not about me. And when I got up on stage with 600 people, which for me was a lot,
it's amazing.
to not talk about real estate, the speaker, one of my dear friends who was a speaker, Jen Hill, was saying, just remember, you're not the speaker, you're the messenger. You're just here to do the work.
Totally.
And I just feel really divinely called to just do the work, just like the work you're doing. I see all of you guys, so many in our lives, we're all doing the work just to make humanity better, to bring love in a world that seems very confused and fearful and scary. And how do we just love bomb it in our own ways?
And it's not a platitude. It's like love more. It's like actually love more. Like actually, when you stop being so like, like afraid, because stop reading the news. I stopped reading the news 8 years ago. I stopped reading any news. I get my news from trusted sources of people. When something I need to learn, I will know about it. Like if there's like a real something going on, I will find out. I don't need to read headlines, clickbait headlines to know that. Since stopping reading the news 8 years ago, it's changed my entire, I have so much more like joie de vivre. I have so much more like hope, because all the shitty news is just shitty news. And so that's part of it. It's like actually like the doom scrolling, the trolling, the, like the whole thing about Gaza, like adding to your, it's like, you're not even there. You don't actually know, like talk about how do you fulfill your own like life, and make yourself happy and do more things to make you happy and not add more anger and pain and annoyance to the world. Like it's like such a waste of time and your life force.
And unfortunately, dopamine rewards us thinking that our words are so important to overshare on social media. Like we need to really share these important things that really are just a bunch of people's opinions. And it's great to have public forum. Yeah. But just where you're not like addicted to it.
I love having a living diary. Like although my current Instagram is being a little bit, I started this little project on soft power. So I have a bunch of videos right now on it, but otherwise it's like a living diary of my, and I enjoy sharing because then it creates my parents, my family, like people can just kind of follow along and it's fun.
It is.
But I don't I like following my friends, seeing what they're up to, but I'm not like a doom scroller or scrolling and I'm just like, oh, I want to check in on a few people.
Nice.
And that's
Miki, so if people want to know more about you, like what are the best ways, whether it's Instagram, books, websites, how do people learn more about what you're doing between Hiro and you personally?
Well, definitely check out @Hiro Diapers on Instagram and just follow our journey here, our hero's journey. And also check out HiroDiapers.com, and you have to go to HiroDiapers.com to find it. It's a secret right now, so you have to find it because SEO is mysterious. And if you want to just, be on my journey, then @Miki Agrawal on Instagram is the place where I share.
And if you want to wake up early on a Sunday,
and
right? For Daybreakers.
And of course, Daybreakers on Sundays.
God.
And of course, I'm still, a lead steward at Tushy as well. So check out @Hello Tushy.
Oh God. By the way, if you guys want to see the most clever advertisement you've ever seen in your life, go to the Hello Tushy ads on YouTube. I mean, if it doesn't make you laugh or spit the milk out of your mouth, I don't know what will.
They're great.
I mean, they're just incredible.
Yeah. And I've written a couple of books to disrupt her and do cool shit. If anyone wants to check it out, learn how to disrupt your life all the way through and every area in your life, from money to friendship to love. Check out Disrupt Her. And then Do Cool Shit is about doing cool shit.
On my side, we now have Fulfillionaire.com. Yeah, I got the website.
Yes.
Right now, what's happening is we are now doing our second workshop on Fulfillionaire. It's here in this office. I've kept it to 25 people with the little help from my friends and a little help from AI. Sam's part of teaching day 2. It's become incredible. I'm watching literally people transform who have been stuck in money stories since childhood to identify those money stories, transform those money stories, get to the why that makes you cry, get to the number that's actually going to make you happy, your abundant lifestyle number. And then day 2, and I think this is what's missing.
I love this.
A financial framework to actually do it.
Yeah.
It's great to hug your kids, but so what? I want to hug my kids all the time, but I also want to make enough money to support them.
Yeah.
So show me both. And I really think that's what we're doing at Fulfillionaire.
That's great.
If you want to know more, fulfillionaire.com. Our next one is going to be November 7th and 8th. If you're a real estate investor, which I keep getting calls, it's now a good time to invest in real estate. Is the economy falling apart? Is the U.S. going to be alive next year? You can ask any question you want. There's a QR code in the back there. We have we actually have a funny video. It's AI also. It's called the Thrive Pulse. And is it now a good time to invest in real estate? -10 means run the hell away. Do not invest. Get yourself like a basement and do not invest. +10 is sell your crypto. Don't be a crypto bro. Invest in real estate. And then every month.
Where are we now?
We're actually at about 0 to just above 0 at +1.
So
don't rush. There's opportunities, but don't rush yet.
Okay.
But it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming to be in real estate.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cliff notes, if you read the newsletter, the cliff notes of what I believe is about to happen is
buy, sell. No, okay.
People don't know that it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. And it's going to be divinely timed with political cycles. And so just remember, as an investor, I wasn't going to go, but since we'll do 1 second, as an investor, the best time to buy is just about when people are freaking out to the recovery, because people are so exhausted and so stressed. And that's when the best investors make money.
As my dad says, buy low, sell high.
That is good.
That's it.
It's just that simple.
That's the magic.
So there's a QR code for Thrive back there. Thank you all for coming, showing us your love. Miki, thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you all. I love you. Thanks.